Hello and welcome to IDDTalks here at AD University. My name is Anastasia Lavrina, and now I'm joined by a very distinguished guest, Mr. Jeffrey Sachs, who is the Director of the Center for Sustainable Development at Columbia University. Warm welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's a big honor for us to host you here at AD University. So let me start with a very important question, I guess. You recently described the South Caucasus as a potential connector in the emerging of the multipolar world. What makes Azerbaijan central at this vision?
Well, I think the starting point is geography. This truly is the interconnector site. And I would mention the famous middle corridor, of course, stretching from China to Europe. But I'd also like to encourage the north-south corridor also, which is Russia, Azerbaijan, or the South Caucasus, Iran, because that also should be a peaceful connector. So north-south, east-west. But Azerbaijan has always been, in this way, both a hub and a geopolitically sensitive area, because you have major powers, major cultures all around this region. This has made this place very coveted by just about every empire that has ever come, and it remains the case that it is geopolitically sensitive. I would like to remove that great game aspect and just aim for peace and shared prosperity, because too many games, but we need a focus on grown-up things, not games of real life people having their peace and their prosperity.
Sensitive, geopolitical sensitive, but still very important geographic location of Azerbaijan, and the ability to manage multipolar diplomacy with the countries in the region. Where do you see Azerbaijan, indeed, how Azerbaijan can manage its policy in the multipolar world?
First, I think it is to accept and even promote the reality of multipolarity, because while that may seem obvious, yes, it's a multipolar world. The United States is a great power. Russia's a great power. China's a great power. I think India will be a great power as well, given its scale, its size, and its economic growth. The United States doesn't like to think of it that way. The US still has the mindset of unipolar world. I try to tell my former students and colleagues and sometimes antagonists in Washington, it's not a unipolar world, it's a multipolar world. Stop playing all the games you're playing. Stop making wars like the war on Iran. Just calm down. But given that the mindset in the US is still very much for a kind of hegemony, this creates a lot of tensions with the other major powers. So to my mind, we need the major powers to say, okay, we accept. Nobody dominates, nobody can defeat the other, no one should even challenge the other, and we should respect each other's red lines. For me, for example, and it's quite unpopular in Washington and even more unpopular in Kiev and quite unpopular in part of the South Caucasus, I don't believe NATO should expand to Russia's borders. That's very provocative. I don't want Russia establishing military bases in Mexico or Canada. And I don't want the United States making military bases on Russia's borders. So that's what I mean by respecting each other's red lines, and then leaving countries like Azerbaijan, and I would say Ukraine, in peace rather than putting them into the contest of geopolitics.
Absolutely. Mr. Sachs, if I'm not mistaken, you have argued that lasting peace is built through economic cooperation rather than geographical rivalry. Here in the South Caucasus, the peace between Azerbaijan and Armenia became possible only within the last years. And economic integration, Zangezur corridor, interconnection. How do you see this development, and why do you think it's important for two countries to work together without any interference from outside?
Let me add Georgia. So Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia, the three South Caucasus countries have a lot at stake in cooperation. First, their security. Second, their economic prosperity. So I always believe, and it's very tough, that neighbors should get along with each other. If you're living in a house and the person next to you hates you or you hate them, it doesn't make life very comfortable. I don't need to elaborate on this point. But it also is true that if three neighbors are bickering and not cooperating, there are a lot of major powers around that take advantage of those divisions. And by having unity among the South Caucasus countries, that's very practical for all of the corridors, all of the interconnections for renewable energy, for transport hubs and so forth. But it's also more secure because, frankly, you have three pretty important neighbors around: Iran, Russia, Turkey. They all have their history in this region. And if the region says, look, we're sovereign, we're sticking together, we are making a middle corridor, we're making a north-south corridor, we want good relations with all the neighborhood, I think that's much easier than one country saying, I'm going to go with this one, I'm going to go with this one. And so I hope that there can be that kind of diplomacy among the three.
And my last question, President of European Commission Ursula von der Leyen is today in Azerbaijan and she's planning to travel to Armenia. How do you see this bilateral cooperation between Azerbaijan and the European Union? How you evaluate the role Azerbaijan may play for the future, let's say, energy sustainability of Europe?
I would like the South Caucasus to have a good relationship with Europe, but I said something very provocative, not so popular in Georgia just now on this trip, which is that I don't believe that the countries in this region should become members of the European Union. The South Caucasus, first of all, is not even Europe. It's Asia. And it has been Asia, according to the geographers, for a very long time. Europe began to meddle inside the politics of these countries. We don't like this one. It's not pro-Europe. It's too pro-Russia. It's not enough this. It's not enough that. So I don't like Europe meddling in the internal affairs of this region. I don't believe from an economic point of view membership of any of the South Caucasus countries, and Georgia is a candidate country, for example, I don't think it makes any difference. What I do believe is that the countries of the South Caucasus should have a free trade area with Europe, which there is. That's important. Trade from east to west, west to east, very important for everybody, but not membership and not great games politics. To my mind, no to NATO, no to EU membership. Leave this region sovereign, safe, secure, and I try to tell people in Washington, and I would say the same to Brussels, don't meddle in the internal politics in this region.
Mr. Sachs, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining IDDTalks today.
It's my pleasure
Thank
and
you.
honor.
Thank you.
Thanks.